Good afternoon. Welcome to the daily update at the St. Clair County EMA office, where we bring you the latest on the COVID-19 numbers. We're joined here with Sam Bierman from the St. Clair County Health Department. Sam, it's Saturday. It's a sunny day outside, but unfortunately a little bit more gloom news.
It is, and as we have said, we are looking forward to the day where we don't have an increase of numbers. Unfortunately, that day is unfortunately not today. So as we have done in days past, the numbers that we will bring you for St. Clair County are St. Clair County residents that have been tested. And as of today, there are 2,206 that have been tested, with 518 positive test results, which is an increase of 22 from yesterday. And that includes both males and females from their 20s all the way up to their 90s. We are at 1,613 negative test results, with 75 test results that are still pending. We do have some sad news to report today, an additional 2 deaths, so that does bring us up to 41. The 2 new additional deaths that we had was a female in her 80s who did have underlying health conditions, and the second was a female in her 90s with unknown health conditions. For state totals, we are at 299,896 that have been tested, with 58,505 positive test results, which is an increase of 2,450 from yesterday. We are at 2,559 deaths for the state, which is an increase of 102 from yesterday. And as always, our condolences go out to the families and to the frontline healthcare providers that have taken care of those patients. Hospitalization numbers for hospitals that are in St. Clair County. We currently have 52 patients that are admitted due to COVID-related reasons, and 5 of those patients are currently on ventilators. For long-term care facilities that are in outbreak status, and that means 2 or more staff or residents who are either COVID positive or who have COVID-like symptoms, the first one is Berea of Belleville, which has 12 positive cases and 2 deaths. Berea of Cahokia, that has 5 positive cases and no deaths. Colonnade of O'Fallon, which has 2 positive cases and no deaths. Four Fountains of Belleville, which has 53 positive cases and 6 deaths. Memorial Care Center in Belleville, which has 43 positive cases and 5 deaths. St. Paul's Home in Belleville, which has 5 positive cases and no deaths. And Lebanon Care Center in Lebanon, which has 30 cases and 3 deaths. And now I will turn it over to Chairman Kern for his update.
Thank you, Sam. So yesterday I said that the number of 49 hospitalizations was the first time that the St. Clair County had fallen below the number of 50 since April, I believe it was April 15th. And today we see that number rise again. So now we're above 50 again at 42. So this decline is not what we've been looking for. Going up certainly does not bode well for us, which means we just got to stay home. We just got to keep doing what we're talking about every day. 136 new cases since last Saturday at this time, but testing is going up, so that number rises somewhat because of that. 654 additional tests last week, so we are doing all the things right. We're getting more testing. Along with that goes the tracing. And the more information we have, the more we know about COVID-19, the better off we're going to be. Things are loosening up a little bit in Illinois with the governor's restrictions, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But first, we're going to go into our zip code reports. In 62201, today we have 12. That is an increase of 1. In 62203, there are 18. That is an increase of 1. In 62204, there are 22. That's an increase of 2. In 62205, there are 17. That is an increase of 1. In 62206, there are 47. That is an increase of 1. In 62207, there are 26. In 62208, there remain 34. 62220, there are now 51. That is an increase of 1. In 62221, we remain static at 40. In 62223, there are 33. That is an increase of 2. And in 62226, there are now 73, and that is an increase of 3. In 62232, we remain at 6. In 62239, we remain at 8. In 62254, we now have 17. That is an increase of 3. In 62257, we have 7. That is an increase of 1. In 62258, we have 14. That is an increase of 1. In 62269, we have 44. That is an increase of 1. And in 62285, we remain static at 6. Remember, if you didn't hear your zip code, it doesn't mean that you don't have anyone who is COVID positive in your zip code. It just means that number has not risen above 5 yet. So we saw a new executive order issued yesterday. Governor Pritzker opened up a few things that make life a little more towards normal, but they're still recommending many things. And so today we've got State Senator Chris Belt is here. Welcome, Senator. We appreciate you coming in to talk about this new executive order. Why don't we just start with that? Okay. Can you tell us what happened in that executive order? What the governor did?
Well, thank you for having me, Chairman. Some of the things that the governor addressed with this executive order have been things that we have been getting from our constituents, and that we've been channeling to the governor to try to get more relaxed screening measures around some of the businesses, state parks, for instance. And so the governor and his team, they've taken everything into consideration. They've come up with a game plan, and where science and where it dictates, they've loosened up some of the restrictions. So, for instance, state parks have been relaxed. Those and so there's a rollout plan. Department of Natural Resources, they've released a list of first round parks where they're opening them back up. Of course, social distance still needs to be practiced. Unfortunately for us, Frank Holden State Park, it didn't make the cut. And so what we're doing now, myself, Leader Hoffman, Representative Greenwood, we're petitioning Department of Natural Resources to say, hey, we really need our park open. It's the third largest park in the state. The reason that we were given that it was not open as of right now is because it shares a site superintendent with Horseshoe Lake, which is in Madison County. And so we're really trying to stress to them that people, they've been in their homes for a while, to be able to get out, to be able to walk, all while observing social distances is a really, really big issue. And so we've been really pushing that, and we hope to have some type of resolve on that relatively soon.
So what does sharing a site superintendent have to do with open space?
You know, from the way that they, Department of Natural Resources indicated to us, the site superintendent would be able to monitor the people that come in and make sure that they're adhering to the social distancing. But what we're saying is, even if you had a dedicated site superintendent at Frank Holden State Park, or any park for that matter, he wouldn't or she wouldn't be able to adhere to each and every participant in the park. And so we really need that park open. As you know, that park is actually named after State Representative Frank Holden. And it's in Centerville, adjacent to East St. Louis, and then Belleville, and a lot of people come to that park for walking, and we need to get people out so that we don't have other issues that come about because of COVID. Comorbidity rates, people are at home. If they're not able to exercise, if they're not able to walk, then we're going to be dealing with other issues post-COVID. And so we're really trying to impress upon them that we need our park open. In terms of other restrictions, golf courses. The governor, in this executive order, has relaxed the restrictions on golf courses. I jotted down some notes relative to that. It went into effect May 1st. Tee times, you have to book them online. No, they will not allow any cart usage. 15 minutes between tea times. 2 men only or 2 people only could go at any given time. And their whole emphasis is the what do you call it? The clubhouse cannot be open. In some instances, if there's a restaurant, they will allow curbside pickup. But by and large, you just have to book everything online. You go there, you play, but it's still going to be really, really strict in terms of adherence to social distancing. The movie theater, the Skyview in our district, but the drive-in theaters, the governor relaxed restrictions on that, and they're allowing the drive-ins to operate. Of course, practicing social distancing. From what I gather, the cars and everything they'll have to be 6 feet apart. In some instances, in Skyview's particular case, I was told they'll be 20 feet apart. And so they'll work out a way to get concessions done without violating the social distancing practices. But all those things are good, and that shows the governor's flexibility. That shows that as we continue to live in a COVID world, that as requests are made, they take them into consideration, and they'll do what's best overall for the citizens of Illinois.
And so, we've been following these guidelines for a month and a half, and we're still seeing cases rise.
Yes.
So, we shudder to think what would have happened if the governor hadn't been the third governor in the country to say, let's stay home, let's stay 6 feet apart.
Absolutely.
He started all this, and now they're rolling out slowly. Things
Right.
are evolving. I think overnight, more loosening might have come about, but it's all science-based.
It's all science-based, and what I urge our constituents, our listening audience, is it's not a punishment. The governor, the elected officials of the state, we want businesses to prosper. We want our citizens to be able to go back to whatever their normal lives are. But there is this whole pandemic that we have to deal with. And it's not to punish anybody, but it's just to look at the science. This thing is still killing people. It's still infecting people. And so this is what the governor is dealing with.
And it's not just about you, and it's not just about me. It's about those people that we can come in contact with. We don't even have to have symptoms to be able to give off this.
Absolutely.
This
You could be asymptomatic.
And-
And go around and infect people. And so what I really like about what the governor is doing, he is basing all his decisions on science. It's hard there's a cost to leadership, there's a price you pay, but if it's based in science and what we see, the numbers dictate that we still need to be shelter in place. It's not easy, but it's necessary.
And you've got your mask there in front of you.
I have my mask in front of me as of May 1st. The governor has required that, all of our Illinois residents have a mask on if they're in proximity of the 6 feet social distancing guideline. And so I have mine on me. I don't wear it in the car if I'm by myself, but I do wear it if I'm within 6 feet of another person.
So all the doctors are saying that the only way to really get through this pandemic is to test, and then trace those who have been found positive so that they stay home and keep the spread from happening. So can you talk, you have been a strong advocate of increasing the testing sites in St. Clair County. I know you're ready to open a new one in your district.
Absolutely. Really excited about the state site. In conjunction with JJK IEMA, we'll be opening up a facility at Jackie Joyner Kersey Center. It'll be a soft opening on Monday, starting at 2 o'clock. We're really excited about that. That'll be in conjunction with the National Guard. Not to mention that we have the BJC Health Care Drive-Through testing site at 4100 North Illinois Street in Swansea. And then we have the Southern Illinois Healthcare Foundation screening. You have the one on the 100 North 8th Street in East St. Louis at the Windsor Medical Building. We have the site at 7210 West Main in Belleville at the Southern Illinois Healthcare Foundation office. We have the one in Cahokia that'll be opening Monday. At 509 Camp Jackson Road in Cahokia. They had their soft opening this past Friday. Also in Cahokia, you have Walgreens. They're doing a drive-through test site. And so all of those sites that we have in our area. Also, too, in regards to Southern Illinois Healthcare and those testing sites, you will not be out of pocket for anything. They will take insurance if you have it, but other than that, they will not turn anyone away. In regards to the testing sites for Southern Illinois Healthcare Foundation, the screening number is 618-646-2596. And with those, all the sites that I named except BJC Healthcare, the testing restriction and screening criteria has been relaxed. And so all you need to be able to do is call their screening number and follow accordingly. You do not have to have a doctor's referral or a physician referral for those Southern Illinois sites.
Everything's free. When they go there, they don't have to worry about that, number one. And just because it's not in the community in which you live, you can
Absolutely.
go.
You can go. You don't have to. If it's in East St. Louis, if it's in Cahokia, if it's in Belleville, you don't have to be a resident of that community to go. The same with the IEMA site at JJK. You don't have to live in East St. Louis to go and participate or be screened at the East St. Louis sites.
And you've made sure the state actually delivered testing equipment.
Absolutely.
And so the capacities are such that they can handle a large number of people to get tested.
Yes.
So that this week we tested 654. Next week I would assume that number is going to be much higher, and we're going to continue to ramp up until we
Yes.
get a large percentage
Yes.
tested.
We actually encourage you, if you think to go get tested. Okay, if you feel any type of way, particularly now since the restrictions have been relaxed, go and get screened, go and get tested, and find out. That's the key, to get screened and get tested. We want those numbers. If you are positive, we want to be able to identify, we want to be able to trace, and then go back and see who you've had contact with, so we can isolate this thing and identify the people that have been infected.
And the soft opening is really for people that are going to work the site, health
Yes.
department workers, first
Yes.
responders. But on Tuesday, they're going to hit the ground running.
They're going to hit the ground running. Actually, it's going to be on Wednesday, May 6th.
Wednesday, May 6th.
Yeah, they're going to hit the ground running. They have the staff there. Please come out if you feel that you're in that number, and get tested and get screened. That's the only way we're going to beat this thing, and we're in this all together.
And we appreciate your help also with the tracing. You helped get a significant amount of dollars allotted to SIU Edwardsville,
Yes.
where they're training people and where they're going to work in conjunction with their health departments to make sure that if someone gets tested positive and they believe that they were in contact with
Yes.
you will be told that so that you can take appropriate action,
Absolutely.
which means stay home, stay
home.
6 feet away, and
Stay home.
protect your family.
At the end of the day, that's the key. Stay at home, practice social distancing if you have to go out, and just realize, again, this is not a punishment to anyone. We want our economic entities to thrive. We want you guys to get back to work and get back into your business as soon as possible. When you do well, our communities do well. When our communities do well, the state of Illinois does well. And so the logic just does not add up that we're trying to keep people home and we could open up our districts and our neighborhoods and our counties when the numbers don't dictate that. We're really looking at the numbers. And so again, for me, keep sending me your emails. I send them through to the governor's administration, and we've had success with them. A lot of the stuff that you send me and that we send forward. It comes out in new executive orders that bear the golf course, the opening of the parks, the drive-in theaters. All these are things that I had emails that came to me, and sometimes 40, 50 emails, 60 emails that ask for the same thing. And, we send them up to the governor's administration, and they take all this stuff into consideration, and then they'll issue out a new executive order, and those executive orders bear out those things that we sent them. And so that's the good thing about the governor. He's not single-minded. He's open-minded. He takes into consideration everything that we send him, our suggestions, our concerns, our issues. And that's the reason we continue to get subsequent executive orders.
There was no handbook written, here's how to cure COVID-19. This is a novel virus. Everybody's learning, and public input is a big part of how we're
Public
going to solve
input goes a long way. The voting, you can vote. You can vote now. Now, you two people from a household can go voting. Now, I get a ton of emails saying, "Why just two?" I have a household of 5 or 6. Why do I have to choose the ones that go? And we're taking those emails and we're sending them up to the governor and say, hey, look, we have concerns. We're getting emails say, why do you? Because the conventional wisdom says we're household members. We're already exposed to whatever it is. And so, again, he'll take all that stuff into consideration that we send up, all the correspondence. And at some point, if it makes sense to him and his team, there'll be a subsequent emails that says, hey, look, no longer 2, we'll do 4 or 5, or we'll do a household.
Great.
Thank you.
Joel, thank you. Herb Simmons?
Always got questions for the senator.
Yes, sir.
And he's always got good answers.
That's it.
In fact, we had one of our viewers ask about the DMVs as far as 16-year-olds. Is there going to be any? And I think you saw that on our
I
list.
did, and actually, the Secretary of State liaisons, H.W. Devlin, just responded. He said, right now, we're not able to waive any testing. We're still working on how to address the backlog when we reopen. And so this is up to the minute, real life information that comes from the Secretary of State office. So,
And of course, if any of those that changes, you'll definitely get that
if
out. to
anything
these
changes,
constituents.
we'll reach back out and let them know. Yes,
That's
sir.
good. We appreciate that. Back on the testing site that is going to open up at Jackie Joyner Kersey. Thank you for coming down here the other day. And I think it's worth telling everybody that if you don't call for the screening, they're going to have screening there on site.
They will.
And so you don't have to call that number, and that traffic is going to be routed in, for those of you who know that area, off of Lynch Avenue.
Off of Lynch Avenue,
So
right.
we did a whole walkthrough of the compound the other day down there. There'd be plenty of signage up. Follow the signs. We've been in contact with the people at Metro. That's all being worked out. So there's going to be a lot more press releases coming out on that,
Yes.
and on our website also. So we appreciate you coming in today and taking the time on a Saturday to share all that information with
No,
us.
I thank you guys for having me because, as me and the chairman spoke about earlier, knowledge is power. We have to empower our community, our residents, and we want to combat the misinformation. So thank you for having me.
And the senator, we talked earlier, the next time he comes back,
Yes.
he's the senator's working hard on the business package.
Absolutely.
So, as businesses have been terribly impacted by this, and we got to make sure that we do everything trying to get them reopened and on their feet, and in a fashion that they can succeed.
Absolutely.
So the senator promised to come back and talk about,
And that'd be good news.
the governor's package and whatever is put in to try to help business.
Right.
And we talked earlier when you got here, we've supplied a tent down there. It's St. Clair Special Emergency Services took
Right.
the Western Shelter tent down to Jackie Joyner Kersey. So we're meeting all their needs that we can here on the county level. And so we appreciate that service from St. Clair County Special Services. So you've heard the senator, great information, and he will be back as this thing continues on. I want you, as you're sitting at home this evening and over the weekend, just to continue to listen to those numbers that Sam comes in here every day and gives us. And as we say every day, we hope the day comes when we don't have to. But statewide, yesterday, positive cases, 2,450. increase statewide, 102 deaths statewide. 2 of them were here in St. Clair County, which brings our totals up to 41. And so if you're sitting at home, I don't know how, if you go over those numbers, that doesn't just rip at you. I mean, it does us, I know, because we have to come in here and give you that information. But as the senator said, and I still want to know, if I read every message that you are leaving, the staff here at DMA, we answer those questions, and I hear them all. I hear your frustration. I hear your anger. If it's not the flu, if it's not about politics, if it's not about this or about that. As I told one of the news reporters the other day, I want somebody to come and show me how this virus knows the difference between your political affiliation. I want it to show me how it knows the difference between your zip code. It's everywhere in the country. It's everywhere around the world. So use some of that energy, and let's stay positive, and let's stay home, and let's stay alive. We'll see you back here tomorrow for the 3:30 p.m. Briefing, and we'll be back shortly with Cindy to relay this to our Spanish-speaking communities. Thank you.